Today we're going to make a simple couch using the box modeling techniques we've learned. You can see here if I orbit around, we got a kind of a cool couch design. And it's actually pretty easy to make. So on my new sheet, right now on the Create tab, we've been using standard primitives. If I click on the down arrow, we're actually going to extended primitives, which gives us more shapes. Okay, and you can see the second one here called chamfer box is what we're going to use. So we're going to just click and drag like you've done before. The difference with a chamfer box is that when you click and drag again the second time, it will actually round off the edges or chamfer the edges. Okay, it doesn't matter how big you make them because we're going to change it in the parameters. So for the length, we're going to make this, let me just do something here real quick. We're going to make the length 20. Okay, we're going to tab down and go to the width. The width we're going to do 44. Tab. The height we're going to make 9. And the fillet we're just going to make 1. Okay, and all your segments here, that should be 1, 1, 1, and 1, if yours isn't. Okay, and that's going to be the bottom of our couch. We're going to draw another chamfer box in the back. These sizes, the length is going to be 8, tab. The width is 44. The height is going to be 26. And this fillet we're going to make 2. It makes it a little bit more rounded. Okay, now that's not in the right location. So what we want to do is go to our move tool. And I'm actually going to hit Alt W to go to our 4 viewports. And on my top viewport here, if I zoom out, you can see here's my back. And you're actually going to line this up, grabbing these green Y arrow and the red X arrow, and try to line it up precise. If you want to grab both of them at the same time, you click on the square in between and you can drag it and try to line it up. Once you get it lined up, go back to your perspective viewport and hit Alt W to expand that. Now, that would be an uncomfortable seat, so we're going to actually rotate that. We're going to grab the rotate tool here on the main toolbar. And down here on the X, Y, and Z, for X, we're actually going to enter in a -8 and hit tab. And see how that rotates the back a little bit just to make your couch a little more comfortable. Okay. Next, I'm going to click on my Select Object tool. Make sure that my back is still selected, and we're going to curve the back of this top. Okay, this is how we do it. Go to the Modify tab, and in our modifier list here, we're going to actually add a modifier called Squeeze. Okay, so S for squeeze. You could just type it in here, the S, and then see how it shakes you down to the S's. Let's find it here, squeeze, right there, squeeze. Now, we've got a couple of parameters here that we can change. The amount we're going to make 0.14, okay? And the curve, we're going to make 3. Enter a value of 3. Now, right now, the back doesn't change, but you can see there's these yellow arch. This is here. The reason why this back isn't curving is because right now it's one segment. Okay, so we need to change this from one segment to 20, and this is how you do that. In your modifier list here where it says squeeze, you just have the word chamfer box. Go ahead and click on chamfer box, and down here where it says width segments, okay, not width, width segments, you're going to make that 20. And when you tab, notice that your back of your couch should curve. Okay, if I hit the F4 key on my keyboard, F4, gotta make sure I have my viewport activated, and hit F4, you can see there's all my segments I added, and there should be 20 of them. We don't need to count. All right, so next we're going to create one of the arms for the chair. So we're going to go back to our Create tab, go to our chamfer box, and just off to the side somewhere, draw another chamfer box. Okay, and we're going to enter the length is going to be 28. Tab down, the length is going to be 7. Tab, the height is going to be 22. And the fillet is going to be 2 again. And we need to change that width segments back to 1. Just like that. Next, we need to grab the Move tool. So you can hit W key. Remember, the W is the shortcut for move. Before I need to click off my arm. I just right-clicked in the empty area here. Hit the W key for the Move tool. Alt-W to go back to your viewports. And in the top one again, the top viewport, you can use these arrows to help line up. And you can zoom in and pan and really get fine in there to help you get pretty close, but not overlapping. Click back in my perspective viewport. Hit Alt-W to expand it, and we got one side. Now, to duplicate this, okay, and we've learned this, we're going to click on my arm so it's activated. I got my gizmos here. Hold the Shift key, and while pressing down on the Shift key, I'm going to click on my red X arrow, click and drag it to the other side to clone it. When we clone this, we're going to keep it on the instance. And what that will do is any changes that we make to this will automatically be applied to the original. So if we change one of them, they'll both change, and that's good. That's what we want. Okay. Next, we're going to grab the bottom of the couch, the base. Okay. And I'm actually going to go back to my viewports, Alt-W, click on my left viewport this time. Make sure I have the base selected like I do here. Hold the Shift key and grab the green Y gizmo and drag that up. So now we're going to duplicate the cushions. Now these we do not want instance. We actually want copy. We're going to make these independent of the base because we're going to split this in half and make it smaller. So copy and OK. And we need to change those parameters. So we need to go to the Modify tab, and we're going to change the length, width, and height. We're going to make the length 22, the width 22, the height 7, and we'll keep the fillet 1. Okay? Now you can see this puts the cushion kind of in the middle, so we're just going to use the Move tool and just move it over to the side. Once we have it there, we're going to hold the Shift key and Shift drag on that red X gizmo and drag it next to it. And this one we're actually going to instance, that way if we change one cushion, the other cushion will change, and hit OK. Let me go back to my perspective viewport, Alt-W to expand it. I'm going to click off my couch by just clicking in the empty screen with the left click. And I'm going to hit the it's the Z key to zoom all or zoom extents. Or you can go down here in the bottom right corner and do the zoom extents all selected. And rotate it around, and you have your first modeling couch. If we wanted to close that gap, we could just grab the Move tool. And move that closer. That's up to you. Go ahead and do a file save as, save it to your P drive as couch.